Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. It's Tuesday, January 18th, and we're still watching the potential for some late week winter weather. Now, unlike the bigger storm that affected us here on Sunday, this one looks to be a little bit weaker and primarily a snow or sleet risk. And it's a fairly interesting setup. There's a lot more cold air to deal with. But one thing's for sure, this is a really active pattern right now. What I'm showing you here is the 500 millibar heights, which is up there in the mid levels of the atmosphere. Basically, what the storm track and jet stream is doing. And this is all the cold air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And what you notice here as I loop this, I'm going to go into the future, notice the persistent dip in the jet stream in the eastern half of the country. You see how we see this constant dipping here and ridging here. And then notice the little waves of low pressure that track through the base of the trough. If you see that, you see going into the end of the week, we've got a little system there, maybe another system on Sunday, a cutoff low trying to come through early next week. So just going back and forth, you see over the Carolinas, which are basically right up there, you see how active the pattern is. We're kind of in that confluence of the trough and the storm track, which for winter weather lovers, this is a very active setup. So let's talk about the pattern. The end of the week, this is still the probabilities of seeing wintry weather. Really, we could go back to Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but this is from Friday morning to Saturday morning. So I think we're kind of honing in on that Friday to Saturday time frame. And you can see most of the Carolinas still generally in the 10 to 30%, but there is a 30 to 50% area in the darker green, and that does include around Charlotte, north and east. And again, I would just look at the general trends here on Saturday to Sunday. You see it moving up the coast and then back towards the northeast. So there's probably going to be low pressure developing and heading away. So let's get right to the details of this thing. I'll show you the future cast here. As we go through time, we're going to go through early tomorrow morning. We're going to see a cold front approaching the Carolinas. This cold front is right here. Big area of cold high pressure to its west. Both of those are going to be key because I want you to see what happens here. So the cold front moves through, and again, don't look for any wintry weather tomorrow outside of the mountains. Or Thursday, excuse me. As this moves through, it's fairly benign front. It pushes through, I'm not buying any of that wintry precip there. It kind of goes to the coast, and it's right there. Now, we talked about this yesterday. We've got a stalled front now. There's a front right here. It's an Arctic front because there's high pressure to the north. This is really cold air pushing down into most of the country. So all this air here is plenty cold enough for snow, as long as the front stays south. What happens is, you see this back here? A wave of low pressure forms on the front. There's one over here, so the front is somewhere in here. And this low pressure system tracks up the front, and what it does, it forces moisture back into the cold air, which is established by this monster high, which is over basically Chicago. So watch this low pressure develop. Kind of moves north, and you see some of the wintry precip developing. And again, this is primarily looking at the date here. That's going to be, basically Friday afternoon. I think the air is plenty cold enough that this is going to be snow or sleet. Freezing rain is going to be down here closer to the coast. So believe it or not, the freezing rain threat would be closer to the coast. So folks to the east of us are probably more worried about freezing rain. But over the western Carolinas, this would primarily be snow or sleet. And you can see it's a Friday kind of into Saturday thing, and then it moves on, and then maybe another little risk Saturday night. So Friday, Saturday looks to be a time frame, maybe 2 waves of moisture. Now, the uncertainty in this forecast is how strong this low pressure is that's moving up here, and how far back west or far east does the front get. But either way, it looks like there's going to be a chance. That's why you're seeing some of the outlooks. We see a kind of range with heavier snow back here. That's because it's probably because the front's a little closer, or the front or the low isn't as strong. So we'll back this up. You can see kind of a wave there on Friday and then going into Saturday. But I think the overall trend here is that it's going to be a light snow event of some kind. I'm really more leaning towards snow in this event. The ice threat looks off to the east just because of how cold the high pressure system is to our northwest. This is really cold air, and we'll have a little bit of wedging going on. So overall, I don't think we're going to be lacking cold air, and the warm nose doesn't become a big player. So let's look at the ensembles, which you guys know I love looking at ensemble forecasts, because to me this is the way to kind of look at the models, not to look at specific individual models, but we look at a bunch of simulations. So the ensembles of the European model, there's 51 variations. All of them except for 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically we've got about 47 out of the 51 showing some type of snow for the Charlotte area. And if you look, the average is about 2 inches. So it's not a ton, but it's about 2 inches. And you can see next week the pattern, a little uncertain here, but there are some indications of an active pattern next week. GFS ensembles. Now there's only 31 members of this model. So we have 31 members. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So about 13 not showing any snow, but there's enough there that we've got a mean of about 1 inch. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It's still early. I'm not ready to put out any maps yet. I'll probably make one tomorrow for what we're expecting on Friday, but that's the pattern. We've got this stalled front, which is going to give us a chance, it looks like, of maybe some snow showers Friday into Saturday as that low pushes off. Now stay tuned. Depending on the strength of this low and where the front is, we could see it back up. Anytime you get a stalled front, it always makes for a difficult forecast. But one thing's for sure, as long as it makes it to the coast, we should have no problems with cold air. Stay tuned, stay weather aware. We got plenty of time to watch this. I'll have probably our first forecast map coming up on Wednesday, and the timing of this would be Friday into Saturday.